is this Thompson Boxing Promotions, one of the best club shows in all of the sport. Bring you locked and loaded from the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Bethel Duran alongside the one and only Rich Murata. We're going to have an action-packed card coming your way. We know there's other boxing going on. We appreciate you jumping in with us. And if you're watching this, you're probably related to one of the fighters, but we always have a good show for you. There's 5 fights on the card, and I'm really pumped because Rich Murata and Doug Fisher rotated my partners, but Rich, is the first time you're in a suit. You brought it up, though.
It's my first time indoors, actually. 2 fights in Corona outdoors and fights up in Sacramento outdoors. Glad to come inside for tonight.
And tonight we have 5 fights, as I mentioned, coming your way. The main event, Angel Relampago Ruiz. Do not blink. His nickname is Lightning. This kid has some thunder, too.
Yeah, and the one thing I really like about him is the fact that he's creating a lot of buzz. He's an undefeated, very hot prospect going in against a real hard-slugging Puerto Rican tonight. So, you know, I think in all of the fights actually tonight, Beto, what we have is a real hook, a real storyline in every single fight. And if you start with that one, you've got Mexico against Puerto Rico. I love it. And then we've got a local favorite who's trying to bounce back from his first loss of his career. We've got a young kid who's making the first start of his professional career, who's creating a lot of interest as well. We've got a college graduate fighting in one of our fights. And in our first fight tonight, we've got a Canadian who wanted so bad to fight in Southern California that after fighting all his fights up in Canada and around the Toronto, Montreal area, he flew 3,000 miles so that he could fight here. And he's an interesting guy because he's a Canadian who doesn't like hockey or ever played hockey, is all strictly boxing. So I'm looking forward to seeing how unusual is that.
And that Canadian is also Peruvian. So go figure there. Like I said, the way we interact with you, it's a completely different broadcast. If you're watching it for the first time, we are watching on Facebook. We interact with you. Every comment that you have, we read them. We see them. We go after it. It's also on YouTube. So wherever you're at tonight, let us know. Check in with you. It is your show. We call it the Facebook Partay, and we entertain with you. 5 fights coming your way. Angel Ruiz is the main event. Golden Garcia gets it going. Rich Murata, Bethel Durant, and you all over the world, and one and only Sonny Franco. Wait till you see Sonny Franco, our ring announcer's outfit. Let's just say, wow. Let's go, Sonny.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. On behalf of Thompson Boxing Promotions, we'd like to welcome you to the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the path to glory. Fight fans, the fighters are ready. There's only one question left to ask, and that is, Ontario, are you ready? Well, let's get the action underway. Please welcome out of the red corner as he makes his way to the ring from Baja California, Tijuana, Mexico. Please welcome Hector Guadaña Garcia.
Hector Garcia, Velasquez Gym in Tijuana is where he trains out of. Our first fight of the night. He's 25 years old. Garcia with a record of 14-7-2, 2 draws, 8 KOs. Y saludos a toda la gente que nos está mirando. Hector Partida desde Zapata Boxing Gym. John Connolly as the Ace of SoCal Eye, right? Sonny Franco got the chambelán jacket. You know when you go to a quinceañera and the dude that's with the girl that has the main guy? That's what the chambelán. So Sonny Franco looking smooth tonight.
I tell you, I look forward every time when I enter
time.
a ring, when I enter the arena at a Thompson Boxing show to see what Sonny Franco was wearing that
He's
night.
so nice, he doesn't wear it twice.
His opponent making his way to the ring out of the blue corner from Montreal, Canada. Please welcome Golden Garcia.
"31-year-old Golden Garcia Jr." That is his real name. His dad from Peru. También se llama Golden.
Hasn't fought in more than a year. Said he's real excited about this opportunity. He's been wanting to fight in Southern California. You know what he was excited about this week? The fact that he was wearing shorts and flip-flops.
Well, when you're from Montreal, you should. Look back to the chambelán, Sonny Franco.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and fight fans joining us around the world on ThompsonBoxing.com. We're coming to you from the DoubleTree Hotel here in the beautiful city of Ontario, California, where tonight Thompson Boxing Promotions is proud to present The Path to Glory. We begin tonight's event with the first bout of the evening, being brought to you by Artie Palulo's Banner Promotions in association with Thompson Boxing Promotions. This bout scheduled for 6 rounds of action in the lightweight division. At ringside, your 3 judges scoring the bout should it go the distance are Carla Caiz, Fernando Villarreal, and Max DeLuca. And the man in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Jerry Cantu. Fight fans, here we go. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner to my left. He steps in the ring tonight wearing the black trunks trimmed with white. When he stepped onto the scale, he went in officially at 135.2 already pounds. As a professional, his record stands 14 victories against 7 defeats with 2 bouts even. 8 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Baja California, Tijuana, Mexico, introducing Hector Guadaña Garcia. And introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the blue corner. He steps in the ring tonight wearing the black trunks. When he stepped onto the scale, he went in officially at 135 pounds even. As a professional, he steps in the ring tonight undefeated. 11 wins, 0 losses with 1 bout even. 6 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, join us tonight from Montreal, Canada, introducing Golden Garcia. Once again, your referee in charge, Jerry Cantu, to give the final instructions.
Gentlemen, you were given your instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean, hard fight. You will obey my commands at all times. Estás por ese bien difícil. Acciones en el camarín. Todo lo demás.
Jerry Cantu, third man in the ring. Let's look at the tail of the tape for our opening bout, Rich.
All right, as we take a look at the 2 fighters, you can see that Golden Garcia has got some age on him there. He's got 6 years older than Hector Garcia, a couple of inches in height and reach, and but pretty much an even battle statistically, physically, as they get into the ring.
And John Connolly, how you doing watching us? And thanks to everybody watching us north of the border in the Great White North. Our Thompson Boxing streams every single bout. Golden Garcia, the bald man, he's 31 years old, out of the Grant Brothers Boxing Club in Montreal. Howard Grant, Otis Grant in there. Garcia, this fight in conjunction with Banner Promotion, the great Artie Palulo. Okay, and all of you guys that are waiting for Ivan Zarate, he'll be up next. And I'll get all the San Pedro mentions for everybody. You know, don't worry, that's coming up next for you guys. I'll be dropping that busy bee on you. And Hector Garcia, 25 years old, from Tijuana. Mention it, he has 14-7-2 is his record.
Yeah, and Hector's come out winging, but now Garcia beginning to get into the fight a little. Garcia looked a little tight to start, but now he's starting to get it together.
And John Connolly, I did say your name. Everybody gets a shout out, bro. This is a different broadcast. We interact with you. Sometimes we might even announce the fight. Daniel Torres going for Garcia. There you go with a KO. I agree. Somebody named Garcia is going to win this one. Both of these fighters started boxing at the age of 17. They both grew up playing soccer, one in Canada, one in Mexico.
But it is the promoter, the broadcaster's nightmare, Garcia versus Garcia. Yep. Boy, Hector started really fast here.
Solid right hand by Golden Garcia with the black gloves. Hector Garcia, the Mexican fighter, with the white Everlast. Robert Cedillo, saludos en Teocaltiche, Jalisco.
Golden, I mentioned, is not a hockey fan, nor did he ever play hockey,
No.
even though he's a Canadian. But his trainer, Otis Grant, was wearing a Montreal Canadiens cap yesterday.
Yep. Yo from Seattle, what up, Grimwald? Elpidio Rosero watching in the Philippines. Mabuhay, kumusta? Scott King watching this and better be. Good opening round. This was scheduled for 6. Golden Garcia, undefeated record, 11-0. 1 draw, 6 KOs.
Pretty surprised by the fast start, though, of Hector, and I think it caught Golden Garcia a little by surprise as well. You know, you look at that record, 14-7. It's all right, you know, but you don't expect that kind of opponent to come at you the way that Hector has come after Golden Garcia so far in this first round.
Justin Boulder in Corpus Christi. What's up, man? I've been to the Selena statue there. I had my first Whataburger experience in Corpus.
Corpus is a good fight town.
Yeah, I worked Jerry Belmonte's fight in Corpus Christi. That nice arena.
I've done a couple of fights there in Corpus, and in fact, I took a tour of a great naval ship that was there in the area.
Juan Manzano, Ruben Torres, Hunter Torres is going to fight next month, hopefully. Ruben actually just completed the Long Beach Half Marathon. He ran in 1 hour and 45.
You just completed one as well.
I was right behind him. I was behind him and Dutch over when we started. And then I got to the VIP tent and they were gone already. So yeah, so if you're watching us for the first time, we do interact with you. We have our own conversations. I'm Beto Duran alongside Rich Murata, who a veteran boxing man, a hockey man too, also Clippers, right?
Yes, Clippers, Raiders, LA Kings.
Everything.
But I matriculated my way to boxing, and that's my great love.
The president of the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Yuyu Acosta, Chalo Granados, is our co-main event. There are 5 fights coming your way. This is our first one. We had a good opening bout between opening round, Golden Garcia. Hector Garcia comes out aggressive.
It looks to me like Golden wants to come forward more in this round. He was a little surprised, I think, by the aggressiveness of Hector in round 1, and now he's come back to push Hector back.
Melinda Stanley says, Rich Murata, you look hot in a suit. Yep. You sure do.
Well,
because the air conditioning isn't on, so we do look hot.
I haven't heard that one for a while. I appreciate that, Melinda.
Tony Contreras watching us all the way from Hong Kong. And we will not get into any Daryl Morey controversies here. I did ask Hector Garcia if he's from TJ, if he goes for the Cholos. He's like, sure. Todos? Sure. His record of 14-7-2 is more tested than that of Golden Garcia.
Yeah. They're both blue-collar guys. Golden Garcia works in construction and as an electrician.
Yeah.
And then you've got Hector, who works as a carpenter in Tijuana.
Man, we could build a home with these two. They're both trying to throw some bricks at each other. What up, Marlon Diaz? Big Serge Estrada, the cutman extraordinaire. Did a good job a couple weeks ago. I was watching you, Serge. Hector, as you can see on his belt, 25 years old. His style, he said, I'm a puncher. Golden Garcia grew up as a soccer player. His dad and mom are from Peru. They immigrated to Montreal, where he grew up.
A much better round now for Golden. He's starting to get into it.
Big Surge in Chihuahua, Mexico, where Golden Boy has a card tomorrow. All right. Mr. Boxing Guru just joined us. If you guys need Adidas boxing gear, go to Mr. Boxing Guru. If you are a fighter or anybody who trains, he will send you whatever you want. And if you're good, he won't. But he'll take care of you. So, Rich, if you need stuff for the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame from Adidas, Mr. Boxing Guru will take care of you.
He's the man.
Well, he's a man. He also has the Mr. Boxing Guru podcast. Good left hook landed by the Canadian Golden Garcia. He actually just had his first son, Golden, Romeo, the month-old. Dragana, his wife, watching.
Boy, these two are slugging it out here.
Oh, good body shot landed by the Mexican.
You're right. That one really hurt Golden. You saw him retreat immediately.
Final seconds of the second round. Hector Garcia coming on strong to finish the round with the body shots. Golden's going to go back to his corner, take some deep breaths.
He just discovered what it means to be in with a Mexican fighter.
Yes, he did. Freddie Pena watching from the CBS studios. I'll see you on Sunday. Hopefully Jim Hill buys us some pizzas. Hey, Valencia watching this from Tokyo, Japan. Sayonara. Clemente Yi in Sonora, Mexico. Marvin Carrera, saludos. Mexican boxer. And you see the face of Golden Garcia, like, yeah, I got stung there.
You know, I thought that Golden was on his way to winning that second round, and I think Hector might have stolen him with that last rally and that one big body shot.
Carlos Vega, there's no way you're in South Dakota, man. A name like Carlos Vega in South Dakota? If you are, where and why? Arvin, California, what's happening? Third round, this one's scheduled for 6, our opening bout, brought to you by Banner Promotions, Artie Paludo. Mr. Boxing Guru, Henry Ramirez has 0 fighters. He's actually sitting front row tonight.
It's an all-star crowd here tonight.
Yeah, yeah, you saw some big names.
Yeah, some world champions, great repute. Carlos Palomino, former world welterweight champion.
Looks good.
Albert Davila, former world bantamweight champion, a very popular fighter in Southern California here tonight as well.
You said he used to sell out the Olympic, huh?
Oh yes, Albert was they were both in that same era. Albert had great fights and won the world title at the Olympic. He had a great series with Frankie Duarte. Very, very popular guy, fought the best in the world.
Deborah Smiley checking in from Canada. Thank you. Pepe Saturnino in Mexico. Pablo Rosado in Milwaukee. And we got a good scrap right now between Golden Garcia, he's got the black gloves, Hector Garcia from Tijuana in the white. And they're just standing toe-to-toe exchanging. And we know you can watch on ESPN Plus. Keep us updated. We can't watch it right now. Let us know how that fight going on in Philadelphia.
Wow, that was a snapping right hand by Golden.
Body shot from Hector Garcia. He's found a home for that body. Trying to dig in as a Tijuana fighter. As Golden answers back with a 1-2. You can hear the thuds here ringside. This is a good club fight right here.
This is typical of what you see at these fights here at the DoubleTree. Thompson Boxing also at times combining with Banner Promotions, who brought Golden Garcia here.
Garcia has his hands full right now with Hector Garcia. Ray Lopez checking in Albuquerque, home of the Dukes. Yeah, I know that Isotopes, but home of the Dukes. And the Pit. Mr. Guru at Sushi on Fire, let's go. Thanks, John. We have fun with it, man. It's not your traditional stuff you broadcast. We know if you're watching a Facebook show on a Friday, we know you're a hardcore fan or you're related. You see some redness on the face of Hector.
Oh, he got fatigued. Yep. All of a sudden, it looked like. Put his hands down and he got tagged. Golden made him pay for it.
Now Golden goes to the body with that left hook. Fun fight so far.
A terrific fight to watch.
Tony Contreras, the fight in Philadelphia hasn't started with. You still need to walk and hear 3 anthems. Jeez. Wait, it's 11:30 in Philadelphia.
Yeah, as a sports fan, you don't really want to be in the East, I don't think, when it comes to viewing TV sports.
Crowd coming on in. Last time Doug Fisher got stuck in line. I'm glad you didn't get stuck there. That's Golden Garcia, the 31-year-old.
You know, Golden says that he likes to try to overwhelm his opponents. He idolizes guys like Duran and Chavez, he said, so he likes to go out, come forward, and overwhelm his opponent. But tonight, really, he had an opponent who, in those first 2 rounds, was not going to be overwhelmed. But I think was starting to show some attrition in the last minute of that last 3rd round was Hector Garcia.
Serge Estrada, you're right. In Mexico, you don't get ESPN Plus. And for those of you que están esperando el Yu, he is the co-main. We got a good opening bout right now between Golden Garcia. He's got the black gloves. Hector Garcia with the white gloves. And I'll reset a lot because we know a lot of people checking in with us right now.
So much going on in boxing right now.
Oh, there's the schedule, Rich.
It's crazy. Reno has back-to-back nights next week in my hometown.
That's right. Next week in Reno, you got Shakur Stevenson, Joette Gonzalez.
Yeah, it's a tremendous main event there. The night before, Roy Jones Jr. and Joey Gilbert are promoting the show.
Really?
And so back-to-back nights in Reno. Now look at Hector Garcia, come on.
Trying to load up. Overhand right. Some of it was deflected. Golden kept the guard up high, but they were breaking through. As Hector Garcia's corner is telling them, keep coming. Shabransky, Slava, Bratan. Good to see you. We're next to the corner of Hector Garcia, the fighter from Tijuana. With Alberto Velasquez, his trainer. You'll hear him through our headphones. Quick right, landed by Golden Garcia. Smash back the head of Hector.
You know, I loved what you said in the open tonight about Thompson boxing cards and, like, in particular, these fights at the DoubleTree in Ontario. They're kind of the lifeblood of boxing. They keep boxing alive. Have club fights. You can't just have only big fights. I mean, it's just not gonna happen.
We were talking about this at lunch about how you got to get through this kind of development to get to the main events, to get to the title shots. And you got to be able to get through these gatekeepers. Golden Garcia shows up to the United States with a record of 11-0-1. Pretty sure there's a tougher fight than he expected. And same thing for us. We don't know who these guys are. We introduce ourselves for the first time, and it's like we might have seen a little bit of YouTube, but we don't know. And it's fun. And there'll be some blowouts. Ivan Crespo, what's happening? Yeah, knock.
Hector goes, all right, yeah, okay. That was good.
This is going to come down to the conditioning, too. Both of these fighters have real jobs, so they find time to train. And Golden Garcia with the bigger shots, getting some ooh from the crowd.
And I'll tell you, it's a good thing he showed up in shape tonight. I'm trying to read their body language and their facial language a little bit. And I think Golden Garcia has a little more left at this point than Hector does, but Hector always surprises me when he comes back when you think he's just about had it.
Ivan Garcia asked, it's a saying in boxing, do not use white gloves. Is that true, Rich?
Yeah, I've heard that, you know, there are certain things that that judges will notice. For some reason, you know, a white glove, you're going to see when it's, when it's connecting. It's like having long hair. When you see that.
I've heard the long hair one. It makes it look like every single punch you're getting your head
exactly,
snapped.
Yeah.
Tony Gutierrez, this fight is as hot as the nacho cheese in the corner. Hey, I'm telling you, Paul Rivera crushed the nachos today. Paul, our director, producer, not only did he just have the nachos, he had double boats. Oh, he came strong today. Oh, it was strong, man.
There are some impressive eaters on this crew.
Yeah. Emanuel Cuevas del Borica va a ser el main event tonight. Se llama Javier Flores, el chino. Jesus Milan, what's happening? Now tell people you're watching a good scrap. We're in the 5th round, and it's back and forth.
I think this fight might be even after 4 rounds. Beto, I thought that Hector had the better of it in the first 2 rounds, and that Golden has come back in the last 2 rounds. So. So as you can see, they brought in the Canadian fighter, 11-0, but he got no easy touch here tonight. And that's what happens in these shows. It's not like we're trying to hype the shows because the shows sell themselves, but you know, Sal Sanchez found out when he fought a tough Puerto Rican 2 months ago. As Dutchover found out, you know, you're going to be put in with tough fighters who have a chance.
Muhammad, you're right. It's a fun fight right now to watch. Back and forth action. Standing toe to toe. That's how you open up a Friday night. Golden Garcia is an electrician, works construction. Hector Garcia from Tijuana, the carpenter. Here's the bad pun. They're both digging for their tools. There you go. That's how you
both
make
grew
that.
up playing soccer, and here they are. Here they are meeting in center ring, and I mean they are throwing.
Yep. Some swelling underneath the right eye of the Mexican fighter Hector Garcia. He gets caught with the left hook. Both fighters now starting to wing their punches.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure at least 3 or 4 punches have missed so far tonight.
Yeah. Well, let me stand in front of you and watch. What up, Ray Lopez? See, Hector takes a deep breath, blows some snot out. Like, they don't give each other a chance to breathe either. They're smothering.
It's shoulder to shoulder.
That also takes a toll on you, right? Conditioning-wise?
When it's this relentless, it's very exhausting. Especially when you're hitting a fighter with your very best shots and he's standing there right in front of you staring at you, you know?
Trying to dig in as a Tijuana fighter. The corner telling him to put some combination. Final seconds of the 5th round. As we work our way towards the 6th and final. Garcia and Garcia. As they touch gloves after that, respect.
5 rounds of nothing but action.
So the Nail is finally making his ring entrance in Philadelphia.
I'm going with Better BF to win that fight.
Are you?
Yeah, I did a fight of his about 3 years ago, and I was so blown away by just how good and tough and strong he was.
Coming up next, making his pro debut from San Pedro, Ivan Zarate takes on always tough Neri Garcia. As they work on the right eye of Golden Garcia. Did Alex Campanova go find every single Garcia in the area? Jeez. I know it's a common last name, but come on. At least spread them out between every other fight. Big Surge. Alec is the 3rd fight tonight. This is the 1st one right now. Sixth and final round, and each fighter takes his time getting off the stool for the final 3 minutes.
You know, Barry Tompkins and I used to do a lot of fights down in Mexico for Top Rank Boxing. And Barry people would ask him, well, who's fighting? Because we knew we'd have a straight list of Mexican fighters. And he would just go, I'm not sure, Garcia versus Garcia. Now, that never happened, but here we are tonight in Southern California, and it is actually happening.
Now you can go tell Barry, hey, I worked Garcia versus Garcia. Golden Garcia warned for a low blow. Hector Garcia answers with the overhand right. Jerry Cantu doing a great job in the ring as the ref tonight.
Yeah, Golden gave a little shake of his head. He was kind of disgusted that he got hit with that sucker punch, and he gets tagged with it again.
This fight is up for grabs in my very untrained eye. No blood from the nose of the Montreal fighter, Golden Garcia. Solid right by the Peruvian Canadian. Montreal, they love their boxing in Montreal. I worked a couple fights there. Great city in the summer. Love the Canadians. Love their expos too. Erica Cruz joining us right now, as is Mohamed Ozama. Jerison Vasquez, saludos. Halfway through the 6th and final round, our opening bout, 135-pounders.
Has anybody named Garcia said they're watching tonight?
Yeah, there's got to be a couple Garcias watching, right? Mr. Boxing Guru Garcia is watching us. Other corner of Hector is telling him, let your hands go. Less than a minute to go. More blood from the nose of Golden Garcia. Banner Promotions brought us a good fight tonight. There's a Tijuana fighter starting to step on the gas.
Remember that fatigue I told you Hector was suffering from 3 rounds ago? Where has that gone?
Both these fighters just digging deep, a lot of heart.
Yep.
Fun scrap. Lungs are probably burning right now.
I'll tell you, for a curtain raiser, they got the fans right into the action.
It's good. It's warming up. The DoubleTree in Ontario. 4 more fights to go. Golden Garcia and Hector Garcia come out, open it up well here at Thompson Boxing Promotions in Ontario, California. Good scrap. We both clap here at ringside. Sportsmanship between the two. Crowd cheering for everybody. That was a tough one to score. I do not want to be a judge for that one. Little Freddie Fender. Little hey baby, ¿qué pasó? Keep it in the Texas roots. Coming up next, Ivan Zarate, Nery Garcia, then Alex Zavala, Carlos Apodaca, George Acosta, El Yuyu, then Roberto Almazan, Angel Ruiz, and Javier Flores. Don't go anywhere, Ruben Torres. Sit down, bro.
How you doing, Rich?
Hey, Ruben.
There you go. Put that on. I won't mix you in. Ruben wants to be a commentator.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Oh, no, he's down. Beto Duran, Rich Murata, and Hunter Torres. Ruben Torres sitting here ringside. Did you watch that fight?
Yeah, I got
a good
here
one,
like in
wasn't
the second round. Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth action.
Those dudes are just going back and forth, winging it up.
I understand the dude from Canada was supposed to be the A side, right?
Yeah, he was undefeated, Golden.
I think TJ took it to him, though.
They did, and I think that surprised Golden, the kid from Montreal, right off the bat. Hector came out winging tonight.
Yeah, and he fought his fight, I guess. They were just going back and forth, swinging. How you guys doing tonight?
Forget it. How are you doing after running that half marathon in an hour 45?
Congratulations on
Thank you.
that.
Thank you.
Finished ahead of Beto.
Yeah.
He barely beat me. I mean,
I didn't see, I was looking for them the whole time. So I got there late, unfortunately. It was a lot of traffic, and I was like, wait for me, like go in the later waves, and they were like, no, you just start whenever you start.
it was his first official half marathon. Did not really train, but he's in great shape.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you never ran one of those things?
Not an official one. I've ran that many miles, but never been timed or anything like that. It's just like for fun.
Look at Sonny Franco's jacket. How smooth is that? Looks like a chambelán, Sonny
Tiny
Franco.
out here. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want a big round of applause for both of these warriors. 6 fantastic rounds in the books. And now to the judges' scorecards we go for the official decision. All 3 judges, Carla Caiz, Fernando Villarreal, and Max DeLuca, all see the bout the same. 57-57, declaring this bout a draw.
Can't argue with that, really. I actually think that's a pretty good decision. I thought that Hector won the first 2 rounds, that Golden won the next couple of rounds, maybe the next 3 rounds, but that Hector took the last round, so 3 rounds apiece, I think it's not bad.
Please welcome Johnson, Michael Barber.
Now, here we go. People asking right here. Juan Manzo. Ruben, when are you fighting?
November 22nd, right here at the DoubleTree in Ontario.
Oh, so is that news right there?
Yeah,
Torres?
that's an announcement. That's the official announcement. I haven't announced it on Instagram or anything yet, so that's the official date, November the 22nd at the DoubleTree in Ontario. I'll be back.
Is there an opponent for you?
No, not yet. I was talking to my coach about one today, but I didn't get a name. He's just 9-1 right now.
That's Ruben Torres. Hunter Torres, if you want to follow him. Actually, go check out his Instagram today. You were using iMovie and you were making movies?
Yes,
What's all that
sir.
about? And you made your own highlight video?
Yeah, I've been trying to look around and see who can potentially make a highlight video for me, but instead of doing that and paying somebody to do it, I just figured I might as well just take matters into my own hands. And iMovie is installed into Apple products. So I figured out how to use it on YouTube and stuff. Shout out Coach Derry. He was telling me, just YouTube stuff. You'll figure it out. Trust me. And
Hey, there's some people who learn how to box via YouTube.
I'm just finding out more about being a YouTuber. Beto was explaining it to me today.
I was explaining him Logan Paul fight.
Oh, wow.
Who they
dude.
are.
See, I didn't get it. I don't get it.
Real quick,
I'm starting to get it now.
You're
though.
young, right? You know who these guys are, the YouTubers.
I know of them, yeah.
Right?
I don't watch them and stuff, but they have a lot of fans for a reason, and they're taking advantage of it. That's smart.
Team Ace right there, Ruben Torres. We'll see him November 22nd. Go enjoy tonight.
Yes, sir. All right,
Sonny
guys.
Franco ready to bring our
Thank
next
you for
fight in.
having me.
Here we go, fight fans. Let's get the next bout underway. Please welcome onto the red corner from Nuevo León, Monterrey, Mexico, Ruiz, Neri Garcia.
From Monterrey, Mexico, home of the Sultanes, Neri Garcia. He's fought here a bunch of times. Ugly record, but damn it if he's not a tough out. He comes in, working out of the boxing factory in Monterrey. And people are giving us their updates on the fight in Philadelphia. Beterbiev scores a knockdown into round 1, but people saying it looked like a slip. Cartel de Santa, pa no andar triste, is what Neri Garcia is coming into. Yes, I Shazam that ace. And you're about to hear a lot of noise for his opponent who's ready to make his pro debut.
Welcome his opponent out of the blue corner from San Pedro, California. Here is Ivan Torito Zarate.
Torito, not El Torito, is that the restaurant? The Little Bull. They told me get rid of the L. They want to go with just Torito. That's what happens. It might be on his shorts, Paul Rivera, but hey, he's coming into Los Tucanes de Tijuana, El Papa de los Pollitos.
Is that what Tony Ayala was in Torito also?
Yeah, the Little Bull. Oh, update from the Beterbiev. It was ruled a slip by the commission, overturned. And he is from San Pedro, California. That is where Ivan Zarate, yes, he is the younger brother of Isaac Zarate, who we've seen a bunch here in Thompson Boxing. He's making his pro debut tonight. Sonny Franco.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, from the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California, Thompson Boxing Promotions continues on with the action with the next bout of the evening, scheduled for 4 rounds of action in the Super Bantamweight division. At ringside, your 3 judges scored the bout should it go the distance are Carla Cais, Fernando Villarreal, and Max DeLuca. And the man in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Thomas Taylor. Fight fans, here we go. Introducing first, fighting under the red corner. He stepped in the ring tonight wearing the black trunks trimmed with pink. When he stepped onto the scale, he went in officially at 122 pounds even. As a professional, his record stands 1 victory against 8 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Nuevo León, Monterrey, Mexico, introducing Neri Garcia. And introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the blue corner. He steps to the ring tonight wearing the black trunks with gold. When he stepped onto the scale, he went officially at 121.5 solid pounds. Tonight, he makes his professional debut. Ladies and gentlemen, from San Pedro, California, introducing Ivan Torito Zarate. Once again, your referee, Thomas Taylor, to give the final instructions.
Instructions in the back. Protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my commands. Touch them up.
Tom Taylor, the third man in the ring, a pro. So is Rich Murata.
All right, as we take a look there, as you can see, bare difference in the height. They're both pretty much babies in terms of their age. Not much distance and not much difference in the reach department. So at least physically, they stand up on an even basis.
Coming out real aggressive in the black and gold, Ivan Zarate, class of 2018 at San Pedro High School. And from the reports out of Maywood Boxing, he bangs.
Yeah, you can see, I'm looking at it already with those punches, looked a little heavy-handed there already with his first few that he shot out there. He's got started boxing, as you might suspect, because of his brother, Isaac, sparring in the garage a lot.
But never really took it serious up until last year. As his brother was telling me, he would go to tournaments and then, hey, let me take 3 months off. Let me go do this. Because as Ivan was telling me, like amateurs bored him, that style. Once he decided to turn pro a year ago, locked in, and then if you're sparring at Maywood Boxing, you got to earn your stripes in there. There's nothing easy.
And he describes his style as strictly a slugger.
I like that. A slugger, and you haven't even had a pro fight. I love that, though. You come in, take care of business. This was scheduled for 4, as is most pro debuts. All the people from Zarate, San Pedro, checking in. Even his barbershop, where you at? Capsule Barbing in San Pedro, checking in. Angel Salazar. A lot of overhand right from Zarate. Oh, and he just dropped him a big overhand right. Wow.
And right over the top with it.
Neri Garcia felt all of that. And this isn't going to last much. Thudding, butting shots. Uppercuts. Garcia trying to hold.
No, we're not doubting that slugger tag now.
Oh. I mean, he took him off of his feet.
Neri Garcia trying to fight back.
Big shot landed by Ivan in his pro debut. Neri, with a record of 108, it's an ugly record, but he usually goes distance with everybody here at Thompson. He gives you some rounds.
That's why they brought him back, because it's the 4th time on a Thompson boxing card. Because he gets in there and he fights. He gives a decent account of himself even if he loses. But so far tonight, he's been overwhelmed by the power of Ivan Zarate.
Poise being shown by the youngster, the 19-year-old. Taking his time. Usually a young fighter gets a punch like that and they'll punch themselves out of a round. Jessica Esquivel watching us in Goshen, Indiana. San Pedro Barrientos watching. So people checking in, and look at the replay here.
All right, round 1, it all happened, and it happened suddenly. Neri coming forward, and then the right hands began to land for Ivan Zarate, and then that third right hand over the top scored the knockdown, clean knockdown. And Neri went down hard, watch, with this third shot, side of the head.
But he popped right back up. As our main event tonight, Boricua El Chino de Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, walking into the venue. Javier Flores is coming up later as he takes on undefeated Angel Ruiz.
Good kid, southpaw slugger.
Justin Bowe, they're saying Ivan's got them heavy hands. We saw that.
I thought I could see that in the first 4 punches that he threw.
That's what his brother told us. Second round scheduled for 4. Shout out to everybody in San Pedro. Ivan brought a lot of them here.
I tell you, he's got a lot of them sponsoring. I'm judging from his trunks. Doing pretty good for a guy with no pro fights to have all those sponsors on his trunks.
He actually works in a warehouse where they package up boxes that they send back to Mexico. But get this, Mexico. Yeah, you got the phone number on there. And he said, working warehouse. I'm like, that sucks, right? A real job. He's like, yeah, I need to fight more. Like, yeah, you're right. Ivan Crespo, appreciate you giving us the updates on what's going on in Philadelphia. Right now you're watching Ivan Zarate, Little Bull Torito, trained and managed by Eddie Gonzalez.
I actually think he's settled down now a little bit in this round. I mean, he came out slugging in the first round. And you might have been right. He might have actually expended a lot of energy in that first round.
3-minute rounds are different. You can spar and spar and spar, but until you actually get the headgear off and you actually get in the ring, it's different. Y saludo a toda la gente que nos está mirando en Monterrey, como Carla Viviana. That's where Neri Garcia is from, home of the Sultanes. Garcia also an MMA fighter. So what's he doing in boxing? They pay better.
Now, and his record, by the way, Beto, is much better in MMA than it is in boxing. He's got a winning record. He's 5-1.
5-1. He trains in jiu-jitsu. So he's learning to box on the fly.
That's not an easy transition. Many have tried, and few have succeeded in doing it.
Uh-oh, low blow. As Zarate was hunched over. Juan Elizalde, saludos en Tijuana. Zarate has sparred his brother. Also been in the ring with Danny Roman and a slew of the fighters that Rudy Hernandez has there at Maywood Boxing. You can hear the pounding body shots by Ivan Zarate.
He's digging in again. Surprisingly, he turned southpaw there for a few seconds.
Said he feels comfortable doing that. His brother is a southpaw. They're about the same size too. Isaac, who gives scraps over the years, are good fighters. Nettie lands a good left. Now, Nettie Garcia turns southpaw.
Much more competitive second round than the first one.
Fun fight. Young guys, a fun fight. Richard Contreras checking in with us. There he is. Our main event. Big smile on his face at all times. Angel Ruiz, he is very confident. 16-0, 12 KOs. Relámpago. That'll be our main event tonight.
He was a fun guy to talk to yesterday, Beto.
Yeah. Is that your first time talking to him?
Yes, it was. And he goes, I'm not a lazy fighter. This isn't a lazy job. I'm like a monster.
Yeah. He's working really hard at improving his English. Did a great job with it. That'll be coming up later. After this, Alex Zavala, and then Jorge Acosta, El Yuyu. Third round, scheduled for 4. Ivan Zarate making his pro debut. Got the black and gold. Color of San Pedro High, home of the Pirates. That was the Carson guy. It pains me to say that. But my kids go to Pedro. Or school in San Pedro, should I say. So all you guys that are like telling me to shout out Pedro, man, all about it. You know? Man from knows that area. Wilmington, San Pedro. Heavyweight boxer, he's a longshoreman now.
Joey Orville?
Joey Orville. There you go.
I read your mind.
Yeah, so he's down in that area.
Yeah, Joey was a real terrific heavyweight coming up in the 60s and 70s.
Who did he fight?
He fought Jerry Quarry.
Quarry.
He lost to Quarry. But I think Joey was actually undefeated when he fought Quarry. But he had quite a few fights, very popular, fought all the time at the Olympic Auditorium.
Joey Orville, I keep hearing those names. And if you guys want, let me hook up some Busy Bee. I'll go down there. I'll take care of that. Of course, San Pedro, if you've ever seen any movie with the Korean Bell, it's there. Especially that scene from Usual Suspects. A lot of that filmed in that San Pedro area. Araceli Hernández Mera le va el torito. Mandando apoyo al Iván Zarate. What I heard was, his neighbor is here today. And his neighbor wanted to let me know. He goes, as a kid, Ivan was just that travieso, like Arce did. He's just that kid where you would see him, next thing you know he wasn't around, but then he just pop up. He was just
The naughty kid.
he's like little Dennis the Menace kind of kid.
Yeah.
¿A poco que están en Pachuca, Vasni? Te enseño. Saludos.
Jorge Arce is the most famous travieso.
Yeah. Coming in with the lollipop. Big Red.
I was doing a fight down in Mexico that Arce was fighting, and he's fighting the main event. And I jumped into the ring to ask him about the fight. I did 2 questions, and he goes, "I've got to go now. My wife is having a baby."
Shut up. Are you serious? Right. Arce. Wearing his tejana, had the lollipop. Characters. Edgar Navarro, ready for the USC game. Martin Nieto checking in. Manuel Jimenez, levántate. Carlos Morales checking in. The Solution, Jose Rivera.
Nery Garcia back to right-handed now. I'm really surprised he's still standing. That first round, it just looked like he was going to get overwhelmed and knocked out.
That might have kept a lot of people down, but this is what Nery Garcia does. He gets up, and he battles. Fourth and final round coming your way. Thanks to everybody watching us. Jose Alfredo Mera in Ciudad de Mexico. I mean, this, like, Zarate's got family all over Mexico. Like, geez. Edgar Navarro, USC. Did you ever work USC games, Rich?
Yes, actually, I broadcast 2 years on TV.
Really?
Mike Garrett was my color man.
Wait, USC football was on TV?
Yes. Yeah.
That
This
was before the TV was
exactly,
crazy, right?
Yeah. It was back in the days of Prime Ticket, and they would show all of their games, and some would be tape delayed and showed
So they
later.
were. So who was some of the players?
Well, Rodney Pete was that was the Rodney Pete era, being quarterback. Yeah.
So Rodney Pete era. All right.
They had a terrific season the second year that I did their games, and they were undefeated going into the Notre Dame game, and then got beat at the Coliseum.
By who? Who was the Notre Dame killers?
I can't even remember.
Something like Tony Rice or something like that.
Might have been.
Ivan El Yuyu. One more fight, then El Yuyu for you guys. Hidalgo, Mexico checking in. Alejandro Gutierrez. Pedro. I know how to say it. It's not Pedro. It's Pedro. Fourth and final round. Ivan Zarate dropped Nery Garcia with a big overhand right early in the first round. And Garcia's been able to get back into it.
Switches back to southpaw stance. He comes out of there with a nice left hook that caught Ivan.
This is actually better for Ivan to get these kind of rounds instead of blowing him out in the first.
Yeah.
And then not even breaking a sweat, right?
Right. So if Nery had not gotten up from that first round knockdown, you're exactly right.
Because the experience is what you need early on, right?
Got to get rounds. You got to see some styles. You got to have a guy hit back.
How many guys have you seen? They're like 15-0, 14 KOs, and then they step in competition. They don't know how to react.
It happens all the time. Not too much with the Thompson fighters.
Yeah,
but they get tested. They get tested pretty early.
My goodness, do you get tested? You learn a lot of things, also conditioning, where you think you might be in shape and you realize, maybe I should have ran 4 miles instead of 3 today. Maybe I should have gone to sleep at 9, not 11.
You don't want to be thinking about that in the ring.
Yeah.
If you get into the ring with that mindset, that's a tough situation. But you know, Antonio Curtis, who used to be the matchmaker at the Forum, used to always tell me, because it was known as the House of Upsets, and about the Forum fighters, he'd say, you know, at some point you got to throw them into the water and see if they can swim.
That sure is. And Thompson does that. They don't have a long leash like, say, Golden Boy or Top Rank or Matchroom with their gunfighters that they find. You got to find out what you got early. The budgets are different, as we know, right, Paul? Hey, but we get wings for lunch, bro. Get trays. Fourth and final round. Ivan Zarate in the black and gold of San Pedro. Bradenton, Florida checking in. Mariano Santis. Solid right again by Zarate. Eddie Garcia with an ugly record of 1-8, but he makes you earn your check that night. Oh, low blow.
Oh, on it.
And Neri's right in front of us, and
He's in some real pain.
yeah. So right now we'll take a time to read all the comments because Nettie's gonna get those 5 minutes.
It may be a while.
Yeah. Yeah, he's screaming
hear
right
him,
in
yeah.
front of us. Tom Taylor saying, I saw it, accidental. Tom is really an accidental headbutt. Nettie is just hunched over in excruciating pain. He's going to take a knee again. Actually, he's going to take 2 knees.
I'm not sure he's going to be able to continue here.
Tom asking, are you ready to go? So what, you get the full 5 minutes, right?
He could.
If you want.
He hadn't told him he was out of time. He just asked him, can you go?
Final seconds of the fight. Samuel Campos, you're right. Cuidado con esos. And they finish the fight swinging it. Respect to both fighters. Ivan Zarate, Neri Garcia.
And Neri is proud of himself in there, and he should be. He got the way that he was knocked down in that first round to come back and go the distance.
You know what? I'm going to say this right now. Neri Garcia, by not getting stopped, not getting cut, you'll probably see this guy in 3 weeks on a card somewhere else. Muhammad, there's no way he was acting. He was right in front of us. There was no acting in that one, bro. And we've seen some people act. Ain't nobody that good of an actor. Coming up next, Alex Zavala, Carlos Apodaca. Zavala trained by Manny Robles at Estrellita, trains at Legends Gym. And we got the replay. Let's see the replay of that low blow. We're going to come in your way. As always, a great job by our camera crew. And you might think we have 30 people working. Nah, there's one dude putting everything together. And let's look at the replay here, Rich. Before, after.
Let's see if we can see it here. Our ref might be right in our way. This is the action. Neri. Oh, that was a very low, legitimate blow. Muhammad, you should be ashamed of yourself for writing in and saying that he was faking.
Yeah, that was
Muhammad, I want an apology from you out there.
That one might have been in Cancun. Yeah, that was nowhere near the border.
That was Andrew Galata stuff.
So Sebastian Flores, you see Ivan Zarate in his pro debut, 4 solid quality rounds. Sonny Franco's tallying the cards from the judges. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen Sonny's jacket, wait. Cover your eyes though, it's blinding. Coming up next, Alex Zavala. Then after that, George Acosta. Then our main event, Angel Ruiz. Oh, some people have it a draw. Let's see how the judges have it. Alex Zavala from Eastvale, right down the street. Coming up next, Sonny Franco. Look at that jacket.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 exciting rounds of boxing action, to the judges' scorecards we go. All 3 judges, Carla Caiz, Fernando Villarreal, and Max DeLuca, all see the bout the same. 38-37, all in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And recording his first professional win from San Pedro, California, Ivan Torito Zarate.
And what that means is the knockdown was the difference in the fight. A 2-point margin on the judges' scorecards. Obviously, they all scored it 2 rounds apiece, Beto, for the fighters, but with the extra point with the knockdown, Ivan gets the victory.
So Ivan Zarate, pro debut, gets the victory. Eddie Garcia jumped at the office, falls to 1-9. And we'll see him probably next month. It's always tough. Veteran Rich Murata and you here Coming up next, that's Manny Robles on the mitts. Alec Zavala loosening up as he'll be coming through. So Manny Robles working. Beto Duran here on the camera. I was trying to record something here. Beto Duran, Rich Murata, and you guys all over the place. Man, I'm upset about that. Right now, so we have a couple minutes. Let's go down memory lane right now for you. So Rich used to work the Forum Boxing. That was the Great Western Forum.
Yes.
So for those of you guys don't know, you're like, what is that? It was, tell us the feature of what the Forum fights were. What days were it?
The fights were Monday nights, and they were usually about 12 shows once a month. And in all the years that they were there, they never canceled the fight, never postponed a card, never postponed a card. And that's where all the good, a lot of great fighters came up through there. Mark Too Sharp Johnson, Marco Antonio Barrera, Juan Manuel Marquez, Gennaro Hernandez. I mean, just so many of them that came through there. But, fighters who weren't even Forum fighters but did perform there. Oscar De La Hoya's first professional fight was at the Great Western Forum. Thomas Hearns came and fought at the Great Western Forum. And, of course, Muhammad Ali fought Ken Norton in their second fight of their trilogy at the Forum.
So if you guys if you're ever like bored at work and you have a chance, just go on YouTube, type in Forum Boxing, and you will see some great fights. Rich was on the call, the great Tom Kelly, right? Right. Chick Hearn was on some of these calls?
Yes, Chick preceded Tom Kelly, and Ruben Castillo preceded me on the telecast.
So that was some of the stuff. And if you guys have a chance, if you're in Las Vegas, go and check out the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Where is that located?
It's located at the Boulevard Mall in Las Vegas. It's at Maryland Parkway and Twain, thank you. And it's inside the attraction called Heads Up Vegas. And we're adding to it every day. The museum is growing every day. We got a lot there for boxing fans. You can come there, relive history. And it's interactive too. You can put on the gloves, you can punch the bag, you can jump in the ring, put on a robe. Yeah, you can take pictures. And we want everybody to have fun. So you can learn a little something about history. And you'll see a lot of great artifacts with museum pieces, but it's interactive and you can have a lot of fun there as well.
It just opened up the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. How old is it?
We are about 4 months old.
4 months old. It is brand new. So you go and check it out. So if you're going for the Canelo fight, go there, check it out. It's interactive. I'm going to go for my first time as we go in a couple of weeks. It'll be out there. So if you have anything, follow Rich on Twitter at BoxingRich. Our third fight coming your way as Girls. Jamming. Sonny Franco, look at this.
Here we go, my friends. Let's get the action going once again. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome out of the red corner from San Luis Rio Colorado, Mexico, Jerez, Carlos El Gallito Apodaca.
From San Luis Rio Colorado, Sonora, Mexico, Carlos Apodaca making his way. Another MMA fighter. He actually has a real good MMA fighter. Coming into Vicente Fernandez, Puro Cachanilla, Mexicali. Also reps there. El Gallito. Mentioned the MMA fighter.
And I think when I was referring to it really wasn't MMA, what it was called back in the day, but I think Troy Dorsey, they used to just call it kickboxing. They had kickboxers who tried to make that transition into professional fighting. And Troy Dorsey became a world champion fighter out of Texas who was a champion in kickboxing. And then, and of course, Lucia Riker was an amazing kickbox champion and a great boxing champion as well.
And now please welcome as he makes his way to the ring, out of the blue corner from Eastvale, California, Jerez, Alec Zavala.
Oh, you're like the little Jimi Hendrix for you. Right? You dabble with the guitar, don't you?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm an old-time classic rocker.
So what do you posted a picture of you. You perform in lounges?
Yes. Why not?
Really? So, okay.
In open mic nights. I certainly don't get paid for it. Just a bunch of amateurs. But actually, when I was in high school and college and coming out of college, I played in rock bands back then.
All right. Got a question coming in. Is there a website for the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame?
Yes, it's NVBHOF for Nevada NV, then Boxing Hall of Fame, NVBHOF.com. That's the website, yes.
Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame.com. I think we're going to send Univision to you. Let's go, Sonny.
Love Hendricks. You think the kids here that are boxing know Hendricks at all?
Hotel in Ontario, California. Thompson Boxing Promotions continues on with the next bout of the evening, scheduled for 4 rounds of action in the junior welterweight division. At ringside, your 3 judges scoring the bout, should it go the distance, are Carla Caiz, Fernando Villarreal, and Max DeLuca. And the man in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Jerry Cantu. Fight fans, here we go. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He steps in the ring tonight wearing the black trunks with white. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 138.2 ready pounds. As a professional, he has 17 fights to his credit, including 3 victories against 13 defeats with 2 bouts even. One of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, introducing de San Luis Rio Colorado, Mexico, introducing Carlos El Gaito Apodaca. And introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the blue corner. He steps in the ring tonight wearing the navy blue trunks trimmed with gold. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 140 pounds even. Tonight, he enters the ring undefeated. 3 wins with 0 losses. 2 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, from Eastvale, California, introducing Alex Avila. Once again, your referee in charge, Jerry Cantu, to give the final instructions.
Gentlemen, you were given your instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean, hard fight. You will obey my commands at all times. Estás recibiendo instrucciones de la camarilla. Toque de guante.
The firm Jerry Cantu, Rich Murata.
As we take a look at the tail of the tape between these two, and you see a gigantic height and reach advantage for Alex Zavala. So he certainly has the physical advantages going into this. His first fight in the United States. He's had 3 fights in Mexico. It's a little bit unusual. I mean, he is local to this area right now, and but he's been going down to Mexico to fight, but now he gets to perform in his home area.
As Big Serge Estrada said, he should have took his time with Jimi Hendrix Moonwalk. I agree with you. Gotta let it play. That's an 8-minute song. Zavala, the record of 3-0, 2 KOs, a graduate of Roosevelt High in Eastville, near Ontario. He sold a lot of tickets, and he's working at Legends Gym with Manny Robles and Edgar Yasso, better known as Estrellita.
This is a different Roosevelt High than what we're accustomed to seeing from over in East LA.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, not the Rough Riders, out here. And Zavala played baseball, played junior college baseball, just graduated from Cal State San Bernardino, sells tickets, Thompson Boxing looking at him. His first time in the United States. As Manny said, look, we got to get you some experience because you've been dabbling with baseball also. And down goes Apodaca. Body shot, and I don't know if he's going to get up. He's hunched over.
Holding his stomach, completely doubled over, and he's out of it.
And he is done. Oh, and he is in a lot of pain at Apodaca. They're going to go straight to the stool. Alex Zavala, a first-round stoppage. So I was saying,
we have 3 pages of notes to tell you all about Alex Zavala.
So Manny Robles decided to take him down to Hermosillo, where Hector Zapati, who used to train Zurdo Ramirez, they were putting on some shows down there to get the experience of what it's like to be a pro fighter, just figure things out. And as you know, there's a saying, Mexico, where anything and everything goes down there. So trying to get adjusted to the pro style. He's been training with Manny for the last year at Legends. You'll see him spar Ruben Torres, who we just had. He'll spar some of the other guys in the gym. I've heard he can hit, as Apodaca just found out with the body shot.
Yeah, this fight lasted barely a minute, if it lasted even that. But there you saw that left hook to the body. There was 4 punches there, but it was the left hook to the body was the one that took it out of him. Backed him into the corner, and after missing that punch, you see the right to the body, and then the left on the other side. That was it. He was doubled over, hunched over, and was down for the count of 10. And Alex Zavala.
So Alex Zavala,
our college grad, majored in communications, another broadcaster coming after us.
I wish you would come after me. Get a business degree, brother. Has a twin brother, Amory, who is a CHP officer. Also, Aiden and Andrea, his family members. So I hope his family that came to the fight did not go get a beer and miss this, because we will definitely see him back soon. Look, Thompson Boxing has a show November 22nd. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on that card. A first round stoppage for Alex Zavala. And you know what? It's funny. I asked him who's working cuts today, just as I normally do, and he's like, well, yeah, I don't think he needed cuts. Arnold Dingong, aloha from Eva Beach, checking in. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix didn't even get a riff off as the fight ended.
Yeah, we run right from all along the Watchtower here to Rolling Stones. This is classic rock night here at the Doubletree.
Hey, gotta do it. You gotta mix it up, man. You gotta keep these kids on their toes here. Sonny Franco, you know he's a rocker. Wearing that jacket, you know he'd be in the 60s. Bittervid trying to close it as the nail goes down to the 10th.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes. 1 minute, 2 seconds of the very first round. Referee Jerry Cantu puts a stop to this contest, declaring your winner by way of a knockout and still undefeated from Eastvale, California, Alex Zavala.
That's East.
At this time, please welcome inside the ring to present the winner with the award.
Rich, you moved to Reno a long time ago. The Southern California Sprawl, it used to be Ontario and that was it. Then you had Cucamonga. Now there's an Eastvale. It's just houses everywhere.
Roosevelt High, which of the two fighters, because Gennaro Hernandez and Oscar De La Hoya went to Roosevelt and Garfield. Which one?
Garfield is where Oscar went.
Garfield was for Oscar.
I'll put this one. Roosevelt High is where Donald T. Sterling went. Before he was Donald Sterling.
Really?
When he changed his name. So Roosevelt High is in Boyle Heights, Garfield, and East LA. So there it is. Veteran Rich Murata and geography lessons for you here in Southern California. Coming up next, El Yuyu, George Acosta, then Roberto Aleman. And then after that, Beterbiev wins by TKO in the 10th, Rich.
Is that right? Yeah,
Yes,
well, I'm not surprised. I knew it was a good fight. I mean, very even fight going in. The odds kind of had switched back and forth, 6-5 one way, 6-5 the other. Pretty even split amongst the media, too. I had gone for Beterbiev, and I see he won it tonight. He's a tough guy.
Our co-feature coming up next, that's George Acosta, El Yuyu. Oh, we're throwing out t-shirts?
We got some more free stuff to give away.
Got all kinds of stuff coming your way. So you want us to talk right now, Paul? Here, come here. Look. This is Paul Rivera, our director, California. So when you're wondering who I'm talking to, that guy right there wrote down notes of what he wants me to talk about, and now just said, t-shirts. So we're gonna go. So right now I have a chance, nothing to run. Rich Murata and you, thanks for joining us right now. Pedro Rivera checking in right now. And there's nothing crazier than how people get when they throw out t-shirts, right, Rich? It's the craziest thing.
It is just amazing. How could a free t-shirt mean so much to so many people?
And the t-shirt has advertising on it, and everybody wants one. It's what you guys want to do. So thanks for everybody checking in. November 22nd is the final Thompson Boxing Show of the year. It'll be here at the DoubleTree in Ontario. Have a chance to check it out. Get here.
We got coming up November 2nd, of course, is Canelo and Kovalev. What do you like of that one?
I will be working it, so I don't want to give a prediction for it. But having worked the press conference for DAZN of Canelo and Kovalev, my goodness, is Kovalev a big dude.
He's big. He is much bigger than Canelo.
Yeah, and Kovalev has always fought at 175. Canelo for the first time going up, so it'll be an interesting one. Golden Boy will not be having a special Thursday or Friday show. That's going to be the only focus that week, so it'll get going.
Ladies and gentlemen,
As Sonny Franco. Sonny Franco's in the ring. Let's go to Sonny.
ladies and gentlemen, I can have your attention at this time. Recently,
a member of the boxing community, and it is with custom that we pay honor and tribute to that fighter whenever one is lost. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you please rise. Please rise and remain standing. In just a moment, we will present the 10 count for the fighter that has fallen. But before that, I want to tell you a little bit about this young man, because he was truly amazing and he will be missed. This young man, before becoming a professional boxer, he established himself as a world-recognized amateur, fighting, winning 2 national titles. He was an Olympic team alternate. As a pro, he captured the WBC Continental Americas Championship in 2017. In 2019, he was rated amongst the top 10 by both the WBC and the IBF. He was a college graduate. Recently, he fought last week, October 12th, in Chicago, Illinois, where he suffered a fatal knockout blow. It led to him going to a coma, and 4 days later, our beloved father took him home. At the age of 27, he will be missed. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain absolutely silent in observance of the 10 count for fighter Patrick Day.
Godspeed and rest in peace, Patrick Day. Thank you.
Lovely tribute from Sonny Franco. I never met Patrick Day. I wish I had, because everything I've heard about him in this past week has been that this is just a lovely guy, and he's the kind of guy that could light up a room and make you feel good. And
son of Haitian immigrants, his mother did not want him to fight. His mother opposed it. His mother didn't even watch his fights. His father has a medical practice in New York City, son of Haitian immigrants. I actually saw him fight in Pechanga when he lost to Carlos Adames, and was taking pictures with fans afterwards. Sad story.
It really is.
Yeah. Sonny Franco, ready for our co-feature tonight.
Here we go, fight fans. Let's get the action going once again. Please welcome on the
Red corner, from Matamoros, Tamaulipas, Mexico, here is Roberto Arten Almazan.
Roberto Almazan from Tamaulipas, Mexico. He's walking into the ring. Coming into 21 Pilots, Chlorine. Yes, I Shazammed it. What up, Joe Zarate, watching us? Almazan, winning the record of 9-12. It's another guy who earlier this year fought Gary Russell. Not that one, a different Gary Russell, the prospect Gary Russell. I think there's like 4 Gary Russells, right? I believe so. He comes in, always tough. Joe Zarate watching us in Idaho on the blue turf. Julian Rivera, Riverside.
As he makes his way to the ring from South Whittier, California, here is George El Yuyu Acosta.
El Yuyu coming into El Sinaloense, rocking the Cañeros jersey. That's the Los Mochis Winter League baseball team. I actually tagged them. They wrote back, said cool, told them we wish them luck. Mexican Winter League going on. And that's where his family is from. He actually grew up in South Whittier, California. You saw him. He fought Ruben Torres, his good friend.
And I thought George left a little something in the ring that night that he still had to give, you know. I think he had a little bit more, and naturally, you know, he ended up losing that fight. Now he's got to bounce back. We'll see how he handles it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Thompson Boxing Promotions is proud to present the co-main event of the evening, scheduled for 6 rounds of action in the lightweight division. At ringside, your 3 judges scoring the bout should it go the distance are Carla Caiz, Fernando Villarreal, and Max DeLuca. And the man in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Thomas Taylor. Fight fans, here we go. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He steps in the ring tonight wearing the white trunks with the colors of Mexico. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 135 pounds even. As a professional, his record stands 9 victories against 12 defeats. 4 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, joining us tonight, de Matamoros, Tamaulipas, Mexico, introducing our 10, Roberto Almazan. And introducing his opponent, fighting across the ring out of the blue corner. He steps in the ring tonight wearing the colors of Mexico and of Puerto Rico. Ladies and gentlemen, when he stepped onto the scale, he weighed in officially at 133.9 pounds. As a professional, his record stands 7 victories against 1 defeat. 1 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, from South Whittier, California, introducing George El Yuyu Acosta. Once again, your referee in charge, Thomas Taylor, to give the final instructions.
All right, belt line's good here. Belt's a little high here, so I'm going to get him to the top right here. All right? You got my instructions in the back. So listen to my commands.
Tom Taylor, the third man of the ring. Let's check out the teletape, Rich Mulata.
All right, you can see very young, the two. The height is about the same, but the reach a definite advantage here to Yuyu.
Yuyu, the nickname given to him by his family. They couldn't say George, they called him Yuyu.
Yeah, battle of the goofy nicknames. You got Yuyu going against R10, and that was strictly that he was started boxing when he was 10, and the first name starts with R. There it is, R10.
We've heard worse.
Not too much worse.
Yuyu, he's in the black trunks. He has a lot of people, sold over 100 tickets. And if you can sell tickets, you can be the co-main. Club shows, that's how it works. You sell, get on early. But then you better perform. And it's time to see what George Acosta responds after his first loss this summer to Ruben Torres. That was actually in May at Mega Products in Corona. And you're going to hear a lot of people yelling Yuyu. With the cow high in Whittier did George Acosta, trained by Jeff Flotry and Otto Gutierrez. got it.
I asked George how he felt about the fight with Ruben Torres, and he said, I've actually felt good during the fight, but Ruben was the better man that night. And he said he was upset for a while, but not for too long, and he just took it as a learning experience, and he feels he needs to be more aggressive. I thought he could have been more aggressive in that fight, Beto, but he wasn't, and that's why I said I thought he left something in the ring that night. You don't want to leave anything, in the ring when you're up there fighting a big fight like that.
There was also criticism of Ruben Torres that he left something in the ring that night. He got chewed out by his corner in his next fight, a first round KO. It's a learning experience for these young fighters as they go through everything.
It's kind of a weird deal when you're fighting friends. I mean, sometimes it can go one of two ways. I mean, sometimes you see just some really savage knockouts when they're friends. That wasn't the case. It was just the opposite when they met.
As Acosta is coming out more aggressive in this fight, taking the lead here in the opening round. It's scheduled for 6.
And I asked him about that. Well, what's the learning experience? He goes, I've got to be more aggressive. I've got to get off first. And he's been a counterpuncher, but he feels like he's got to get off first more. And that's how he's fighting in this first round.
Almazan with a record of 9-12. Matamor, he's one of those. You'll call him on Tuesday. There's a fight Friday. He's on that plane on Wednesday. Said he stays in the gym and stays on weight because he knows his role now in the sport of boxing. Be ready. He'll wing punches. Saw a little bit of him on YouTube. Yeah, he'll wing them at you. He'll keep that left hand down really low too, Almazan. Y saludos a toda la gente que le apoya al Yu. Make sure you guys share on Facebook. Let people know that you're watching George Acosta and Roberto Almazan. Thompson Boxing in Ontario. As the opening round winds down, our co-feature after this, Angel Ruiz and Javier Flores. Rich Murata is bobbing his head at some banda. He knows what's up. You've been all over Mexico too, calling fights, haven't you?
Oh yeah. So the last Top Rank boxing series, which I did with Top Rank Live, was basically coming from Mexico. So those were a lot of sometimes weird experiences.
So what cities did you go to?
Well, we were in.
There's the Puerto Rican.
Los Mochis. There's Javier Flores.
So you went to Los Mochis?
Yes, and Guadalajara. We were over in the Yucatan.
All right. How was Los Mochis? How was Sinaloa? Because you were going during Chavez's heyday too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody thought they were Chavez. Like the fighters. I mean, like every young Filipino
if you want to
fighter.
get in on the good side of people, you would just say Chavez.
Yeah.
He's my friend.
It's the thing. It's you ask fighters like, who's your favorite? You ask any Puerto Rican, you know they're gonna give you Tito. You ask any Mexican, you know they're gonna give you Chavez. You ask any Filipino, they're gonna give you Pacquiao.
That's why it was very interesting in our main event tonight. Javier Flores, who's from Puerto Rico, asking him about his favorite fighters. He did give us Trinidad, but then he said Diego Corrales.
Really, a Chico guy?
Yeah, he said, and he said that he was much younger, of course, when Diego died, and he never met Diego. He said, but I'll never forget this quote. I don't think he said, "I suffered a lot when Diego died."
Really?
Yeah. Which was
that's a real hardcore fan. Like you've invested a lot with him.
Exactly.
You
Yes.
suffered.
He said, "I suffered a lot." I immediately texted that to Michelle Corrales in Las Vegas, Diego's widow, and she was very appreciative. Said to say hi to him and good luck, and she sent 2 hearts his way on the text.
You're good with the emojis. You're getting good there, Rich. Bill Hondo will be proud. Beto Duran, Rich Murata, ringside, our co-feature tonight. Watching George Acosta, El Yu, 7-1, only 1 KO from Whittier, California. Played a lot of sports as a kid, started boxing when he was 9. R10, Roberto Almazan with the Mexican trunks. His family owns a business in Matamoros, which is a border town. And he said because of the different types of business in the border towns, I'll just leave it at that, he said his family business, which just sells local goods, has been suffering. So he's been taking fights in the United States on short notice because of the pay, which his boxing money has been supplementing the money that the business has been losing. He's like, that's why I've taken fights on a day's notice, 2 days notice. He goes, I'd prefer not to. It'd be nice to have a camp, but you got to do what you got to do to put money into the family bank account.
A small little cut from a punch.
Here, Tom Taylor, a cut from a punch.
That's good. Everybody knows right away now what that situation is, should it get much, much worse. But it was a punch that caused it.
That's a big advantage, too, for a corner to know what's going on, right? Because you might think one and you hear another.
Exactly, yeah. I'll never forget when Gennaro Hernandez fought Azuma Nelson. I was fortunate ennugh to do the broadcast of that fight, myself and Doug Krikorian.
Dougie?
Yeah, he was.
No way.
He was my analyst that night. Yes.
Love that.
And when Gennaro got fouled by Azuma Nelson, it was late in the fight. They went back to the corners, and he had really been fouled hard, and we didn't know if the fight was going to be able to continue. And Rudy Hernandez, his trainer, his brother, told Gennaro, you can, you're ahead on points. You're going to win the fight if they stop it here. And Gennaro said no. You see, Gennaro said no. I don't want to win the. I don't want to win the title that way. So he actually went out and dominated the last couple of rounds and beat Azuma Nelson that way. And he didn't have to continue. Everybody would have understood had he not gone out there, but he didn't want to win it that way.
The late Chicanito. Punch. Thank you, Tom. That's another great job by Tom Taylor, one of the rising referees in the sport. Does a great job. Not only did he go and tell the fighters in the corners, but he let us know as the broadcasters that what's going on. It's the little tiny details. A lot of people like to get on referees. It's a tough thing to do to get inside there. But the attention to details that you have, especially in boxing, the gentlemen and the ladies that referee these fights and judge them, they actually love the sport. Like, you see them early, the competition, we got to know them. And in other sports, you're not allowed to even look the way of, especially in baseball, you can never be in the same area as the umpires. Basketball, you might hear a pool reporter go talk to them. NFL, forget it. Communication business.
That was one of the controversies came out of that Tyson Fury Otto Wallin fight in Las Vegas. I mean, the cut was clearly caused by a punch, and Wallin thought that that it was a headbutt situation, and they thought for a couple of rounds his corner, I guess, until they were informed differently. Actually informed by our friend Bernardo Osuna.
And I know he was catching some heat for it, but he took care of it. We have the technology, use it. Just don't delay it too much. Brandon Valdez, saludos. Colombiano. Nancy Sanabria checking in. Theo Arredondo checking in. Everybody's checking in for Yu. George Acosta in the black trunks. He's 7-1, 1 KO. Halfway through the third round. It's scheduled for 6.
George is a technical fighter, and he's going to have to win fights that way. He is not a heavy-handed puncher. He wants to do more punching and be more aggressive. And he's trying tonight to do a little more in that area. And let's face it, Beto, I mean, boxing is an entertainment business, and fans do pay to see the big punchers. However, if you're not a big puncher, you've got to at least make your fights interesting. You've got to throw a lot of punches. You've got to out-hustle your opponents. You've got to make it entertaining to watch. And I think that's what George is trying to do tonight.
David MT checks in and says, they used a replay and reversed a KO on ESPN tonight in the main event. When he went down, they ruled it a slip. You're right. We were told that earlier. Like, if you have the technology, that 1 point can make a huge difference.
Exactly.
We heard Tom speaking. We'll check in with him between rounds. Diego Garcia checking in.
Yeah, Acosta
Valdez.
bleeding.
Acosta bleeding. Almazan 9-12, 4 KOs.
It may have actually been a second cut, and I think our referee was informing them, but that one was a headbutt.
We'll check in with Tom. He'll come over and let us know.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, like to thank Omega Products International, Belgard,
Fortifiber, El Dorado Stone, Thompson Building Materials, Thompson Building Supply, Western Manufacturing. Once again, a big thank you to all of our sponsors
Mando
for
Huerta,
making tonight's event and
working the
every
cuts.
event possible. Thank you.
So you're right, Rich. The right eye, accidental headbutt. The one on the left was from the punch. The one on the left was what happened earlier. So this round was a headbutt. Good job, Rich. Caught that on quick. You know, you got a future in this business.
Well,
Stick
I
with me,
think
kid.
There's some question about that.
No kidding, right? Jeez. I spoke to a high school group today of kids who want to do this. Like, get a business degree. Elvis Arroyo, what's happening? Father the Bullet Arroyo. And yes, if you guys are in the Carson area, you want to check out amateur boxing, Elvis, I'm going to stop by. It's called Rocktober Amateur Bouts. They'll start around 1 o'clock at the Rock Boxing Gym in Carson. Elvis, I'm going to stop by after my daughter's soccer game. So is the Bullet fighting? His kid is the Bullet Arroyo. Good kid. Rock Boxing does a great job with their amateur program. Definitely go and check them out, support them. Y todos los que están esperando el Chino Flores, él sigue después de esta pelea. The Puerto Rican coming up next. We're in the 4th round. All right, so where have you traveled, Rich, for fights? Like, for me, I've only done Mexico and Puerto Rico. Where have you gone?
Well, I've done Mexico, Puerto Rico, as you have Canada.
I've done Canada too.
Probably the furthest I did was I went to Dublin. I went to Dublin to call the Wayne McCullough fight against Jose Luis Bueno, which was a bantamweight championship fight, in which McCullough successfully defended the title there.
The Pocket Rocket, Wayne McCullough, he trains celebrities in Santa Monica now.
Yeah, he's a terrific guy. I did most of Wayne's fights as he was coming up.
Really?
Yes, and he was performing in those days for America Presents, a now defunct promotional company. And that was very fortunate. I worked that fight solo, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, that whole card over there in Dublin. And those fans were absolutely berserk over there at a Wayne McCullough fight. Very, very popular in Ireland, as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah. Olympian, Wayne McCullough. Very good on Instagram, too. Mr. Boxing Guru, you should get with Wayne McCullough. Sponsor him, bro. I know you only go to Velasco for Porcito Hesta, but mix it up a little bit. Pocket Rocket's cool. I asked him, how come you don't train more pros? He said, because pros don't listen. He goes, these celebrities, they pay me, I can say whatever they want, and they listen. He goes, also, celebrities, they show up. So you've done Ireland. That must have been a great experience.
Oh, it was just fantastic. Had my first Guinness over there.
See, that's okay. I've had Guinness here, but it ain't a Guinness until you've had it in Ireland.
That's
right?
exactly what the bartender told me in the pub when I was in Dublin.
You know, the bartenders over there get certified to be able to pour Guinness, right? You have to pour it a certain way.
Yeah, it takes a while.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've done Montreal, a lot of Mexico. I've never done, well, I haven't done real Mexico. I've only done Cancun. You've done Los Mochis. You're more Mexican than me.
We did one show down there in Guadalajara.
Okay.
The fight was in a big parking lot.
Shocker.
On one end was the parking lot, and on the other end was the cockfighting arena where the
Yes!
cockfights were going on at the time.
Oh wait, so the fight was competing with the
Exactly,
gallos?
yeah.
Which one had the bigger crowd?
Well, I think the boxing.
Okay,
the boxing.
all right,
yes.
all right.
But the
Which one
cockfighting,
had more money?
I did go over there and take a look at the cockfighting. Yeah.
California. Come join the fighters, the rest of the crew. Once again, November 22nd.
So now the Mexican, Almazan, is cut, but that was from a punch.
We're going to really have to keep track of these. Both fighters cut.
Emmanuel Jimenez, saludos a Puerto Rico, Aguadilla.
We hope to
Guru,
see you there.
you know what?
November 22nd,
I do Thompson
Red
shows,
Bandit Training will see you
and
there.
Sal, I can't wait till you get one of your scrubby guys on a Thompson show because you're gonna eat crow so bad. Barranquilla, Colombia, saludos. Rocas Sports checking in. 5th round scheduled for 6. You're watching El Yuyu, George Acosta. Cutman, Mando Huerta. His son Charles Huerta going to be fighting Mercito Hesta at the Velasco. Actually, no, he's not. Wait, who's Huerta fighting? No. Mercito Hesta's fighting Carlos Morales at Velasco. Charles Huerta's fighting a tough Puerto Rican. That's who he's fighting.
Mercito Hesta was one of those guys who had the tag, and it's a terrible thing to get, I think, is, the next Pacquiao, right? When he was just coming up. And you would hear that, and that's just too much. Don't do that to a young fighter.
Yeah, it's like, okay, he's the next Hesta, and if it's a Filipino who's southpaw. Oh, right? Any southpaw, there you go. Yeah, Guru only goes red promote. Actually, by the way, Guru, Roberto Almazan, the guy in the ring right now with the Mexican trunks, he is a red promotions fighter. So I'm pretty sure you'll be seeing you with your red shirt. And Pico Rivera Boxing. Hey, anywhere that gives a venue for some guys an opportunity to make a dollar, I'm all for it.
Excellent combination from Acosta. Their body, first the head, then the body. 3 punches.
And Guru, I'll remind you, Danny Roman is a DAZN fighter. Banner Promotions, Thompson Boxing.
Danny Roman, by the way, his shoulder coming around, did not need surgery.
That's great.
And may be back in action before the end of the year.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'd ask him, but he ain't gonna give us any answers.
It's not his strong suit.
He'll say, yeah, Beto. Love Danny. Great kid. One of the nicest humans I've ever met. Ruckus, we appreciate it. Yeah, you guys had Alex Camponovo on the Boxing Rundown. You had Danny Roman also.
You got your own podcast going,
Yeah,
Beto.
I got a couple. The Living the Dream podcast, which I'm going to get Rich on pretty soon.
I heard your life story there. You told your story of you becoming a broadcaster.
You listened to it? Yeah, all right. Yeah, it was on accident. Because your good friend, Barry Tompkins, was having conflicts because he was college football. They're like, hey, we need a backup to the backup to the backup. And those guys are busy. What about you? So sure. Next thing you know, hooked. Because for us, there is no minor leagues of boxing where you can go and train like you do for baseball or basketball or anything like that. We're kind of learning on the fly, and here we are having fun with it as we evolve. Doubling up the jab as Acosta.
Still very quick jabs by Acosta. And that was some really good work by George. Jab, 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 jab. Launch a big one.
Wait, Rocas, what are you talking about? At the Pico Rivera fights, the fighter jumped out of the ring and started a fight? I saw the video, but I thought it was just the fans fighting. What happened? Did you hear about this?
I have not. No.
So there was a Pico Rivera show a couple weeks ago, and I saw a video on Ellie Sekbach, reporting, and they showed a crowd fight, like it was a mob just going at it. As our main event, Angel Ruiz, Javier Flores will be coming up their way. Okay, so Rocas, tell us the story. Tell the people on the Facebook the story. The fighter jumped out of the ring and fought somebody in the crowd? You gotta be kidding me.
That would be the second time this year I've seen a fighter leave the ring. The first time was the one where the guy before the opening bell just decided he wasn't going to fight.
Oh, that's right.
Walked out and left the arena. But this guy who actually, apparently, judging from one of our viewers, jumps out and starts a fight.
Rocas, you're giving me one-word answers. Rocas, write a paragraph of what happened, bro. He just said main event. Write the paragraph. Be a reporter right now. Tell us what happened. Rocas, he went after the crowd, isn't telling the story. If you don't tell it, I'm going to cut you. Main event coming up next. 6th and final round. Yuyu Acosta, Roberto Almazan. Acosta sold a lot of tickets. His crowd is antsy. Okay, here we go. Guru, the reporter. The main event fighter jumped out of the ring, attacked the fans, and Rocas was even punched by some of the friends. Are you serious?
That must have been a very crazy scene.
Okay, the main event fighter jumped out. Have you ever seen anything like that, Rich?
Well, only in wrestling at the Olympic. I remember Freddie Blassie getting hit pretty regularly by fans as he would leave the ring.
But I've seen video like where somebody's mom jumps in the ring. Like there was that one
Yes,
mom that had
I have
the
seen.
purse.
Yes.
But the main event fighter jumped out of the ring and attacked the fan. Wow. All right. They want the sport to be more interactive. Rosita de Jesús de Boston, saludos. Huepa a todos los boricuas.
George, as you see, is very cautious here still. Very cautious.
I don't know why
And
though.
he just jab, jab, jab. He looks for that opening instead of going in there full bore. Technically, he's very good, and probably, you know, he had a good grounding in the amateurs. He had a nice amateur career. Had about 60 amateur fights, and some good Golden Gloves performances, etc. And learned how to box. But he almost looks like maybe someone who learned how to box out of a book, you know. And too technically, he does things very well.
Controlling this fight. Would you like to see him get out of third gear?
Yeah, and he can do it. He's never going to be a big puncher. He's never going to be a heavy puncher. But if you remember, like for example, a fighter like Robert Guerrero, I think Robert Guerrero went 7 or 8, 9 fights before he ever had a KO in his career. You wouldn't, you know, he was just boxing going along, and then all of a sudden he kind of learned how to punch more effectively. You never are going to be all of a sudden get a great punch, but you can learn how to punch more effectively.
Benítez, saludos a los de Guatemala. This fight winds down. Wait a minute. Rokas, you really got hit? He said, I can't talk because there's an investigation. The main event fighter was taunting the crowd. Things got heated. He jumps down. A whole rumble broke out. He was punched. Oh, my God. Rokas, you were punched. Did that throw the slip?
It's a big
Accidental
headbutt.
head
He was
cut.
actually, and he's got a very bad cut there.
10 seconds to go in the fight. Accidental headbutt. That's it. They'll do it. And Almazan gets cut right at the end. Rokas, I'm glad you're okay. And we'll leave it at that. My goodness. Chaz Shakur in Argentina. You're not in Argentina, bro. There's no way. It's like 5 in the morning right now. Our main event is coming up next.
Because there was so little time left, the referee just allowed it to continue there, but without even looking at the cut. But it was a pretty bad one from that headbutt. Blood spurted immediately.
Yeah. So we'll go to the cards, as is customary with George Acosta. Looked better today than he did against Ruben Torres. Tante Lagadora. Cuts to begin with. Hey, todos los boricuas, tell people, mándale and share it. On time. I ordered a drink, second fight, barely shows up. Get a little parched here. All right, do me a favor right now, in between fights, if you have a chance, check in. Where are you guys watching this fight from? Rokas, where do you live? Anyways, let us know what's going on. Rich always loves seeing the interaction that we have with you guys. Remember, what we do is usually taboo. We're like,
Well, this broadcast would be considered extremely unconventional.
oh. But the thing is, people are starting to try to do what we do. I didn't say they're doing it good, but they're trying to do it. Lupillo Rivera jamming. There you see Huerta working on that cut. James Quirk, New York City. What's happening? South Whittier. Make sure you guys follow us on all the Thompson Boxing platforms. California, Kite taking care of the pictures. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Chino lives in, Rokas, you live in Chino? Man, you're rich. Kevin in Denver, Colorado. Go Broncos. The Ace of SoCal and Misty's Bar. It's only $5 if you're staying here. Vanessa Martinez. Saludo a Almazan. Sonny Franco. My goodness. I mean, I can't get over that. Sonny, how much did that jacket cost? How much did the jacket cost, Sonny? He gives me the wink.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 exciting rounds of action, to the judges' scorecards we go for the official decision. All 3 judges, Carla Caiz, Fernando Villarreal, and Max DeLuca, all see the bout the same, declaring your winner by a score of 60-54. He is your winner by unanimous decision, ladies and gentlemen, from South Whittier, California, George El Yuyu Acosta.
El Sinaloense jams for George Acosta. Picks up his 8th victory. Benny Ornelas is watching us in New Mexico.
Dan Anderson.
Greg Alvarez is all far in Fontana Fu. Eric Floyd in Orlando. Joel Mendez in Philadelphia. Roca says, Rich, you're doing a good job. You guys are still #1 fight stream commentators. Man, we're still #1 commentators, bro. Shoot.
What about the girl from that said I was hot earlier?
Yeah, the girl that
Where's
said
she
you're hot.
from?
Where you at?
Where's she from?
She says she's from Incline Village. Carlos Almeida in Arkansas watching us right now. Sí, Manuel, ahora tiempo del Boricua. Ahí viene el chino. Javier Flores against Ángel Relámpago Ruiz. El Yuyu Acosta rocking his Los Mochis jersey. Paul, you want to put me on camera right now, Paul?
Oh, hell yeah.
Man, let me put my... You really want to put me on camera? Let me hide my drink right now. Hold on, don't spill too much. I don't want to get over that. Beto Duran, Rich Murata. We still got the coats on. Rich, how good does that suit look right there?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, yes.
Yeah, there you go. If you guys want to follow Rich on Twitter, Boxing Rich. If you can get interaction with him, Rich is one of the best followers in boxing out there. And every now and then he'll post a picture of him rocking out in a jacket that looks like Sonny Franco's, and you'll do that. So if you have anything, interact with Rich, president of the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. You guys want to go and check that out. Where's it located again?
Yes, it's located at the Boulevard Mall in Las Vegas. And it's a great boxing museum, an opportunity for you to relive boxing history, get in there into the ring, you can put on the gloves, you can hit the speed bag, you can hit the strike back machine, which actually will punch back at you.
I'm going into that. You know, hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off there. Nancy Rodriguez checks in, watching in Cancun from the WBC convention. Nancy, you tell Pepe Gomez and Mauro Suleiman, you tell them, you can't have a convention without Rich Murata. So, don't get banned from this broadcast because I'm upset for Rich. Because if anybody deserves to be in Cancun right now, it's Rich Murata. So Nancy, we will talk.
But I need you to fly me. I don't got no money.
Glad you have a great time at the convention. Saludos a Pepe Gomez and everybody down there at the WBC. They do a great job with it.
Don't forget, next show for Thompson Boxing Promotions, November 22nd, right back here at the Doubletree Hotel.
We got people, no, Rich is in Reno, Nevada. Aguadilla, Puerto Rico checking in. Caguas, Puerto Rico, Jose Jordan. Everybody else checking in right now. Our main event, it should be a good one. Ángel Ruiz, Javier Flores. What do you like about Ruiz?
Well, one thing I like about him, and this is not necessarily, his boxing style or whatever, but he's somebody who's creating buzz. Now, boxing, as we mentioned, is the entertainment business. If you get a reputation as a big banger, if you get a reputation as a guy who can really punch, who gets people out of there, you start to hear the buzz. And I think we're starting to hear the buzz about Angel Ruiz. And he's in a very good division where if you can get to the top, you can make a lot of money and get a lot of marquee fights.
And right now, Pepe Gomez, el que va a pelear ahorita, Ángel Ruiz, te va a encantar. Ángel Ruiz sat down with the Thompson Boxing crew.
Teníamos la pelea para septiembre. Y desde ahí yo no he parado.
I had a fight scheduled for September, so I've been in the gym and I've been ready to fight. So when this fight came along, we're ready to fight and we're ready to go. We're going to be showing the public what I have and what I'm all about.
Estuve aprendiendo mucho de mis errores. La gente han visto como yo soy, pero vengo diferente.
I've been learning a lot from my mistakes. I'm a much better fighter because of it. I've been learning through every training camp, and my punches are getting stronger, and you're going to see that tonight when I fight.
He visto sí que Es un peleador fuerte.
I've seen him fight. He's a strong fighter. I've seen a lot of his videos, and it's going to be a tough fight for both of us. It's not going to be an easy fight. He has a better record than me, but I know that I bring a different style that he probably hasn't seen, and like I said, it's going to be a tough fight for both of us.
Pues sí, le doy gracias por darme la oportunidad, ya que he sufrido de muchos
I'm very grateful for the opportunity to fight on a Thompson Boxing show. Our country has gone through a lot lately, and so have I. So it's a great opportunity for me to represent my homeland, and people are going to know Javier Chino Flores by the end of tonight.
Well, I did a great camp training, and I raised my hand for like 2 months. And after 2 months, I did a lot of sport, and hard training, running, and everything. Yeah. Well, I was living my life in Mexico, Tijuana, Baja California, but right now I live in LA. I train in LA. I did my all training in LA, Maywood Boxing. I do spar with world champions like Brian Castaño and the Latina champion WBC Chris Pearson before, and I have a lot of spar with another guys from Japan, from Latinos, Asia, or right here in North America, and I did a great spar all the time. I fight hard all the time. I don't have a lazy jab. I have a hard jab. I have a hard left because I'm a southpaw. So my all punches is hard, and I have a lot of reach. And I use my reach all the time, and I just try to get the opportunity to get a hard punch all the time. Yeah, my left punch is the best. He needed just pressure, and I think I can do knockout on 3 or 2 rounds because he need to fight with some guy like me, never. I'm really hard. I'm like a monster, so I just wanna say warning.
Back here ringside, and you guys like that production value, right? Thompson Boxing's not messing around. California and his crew did a great job with it. Monchi, you're mentioning that smoke? Boy, because there's going to be some smoke coming your way here. They're not smoking, it's on fire. That's what we expect here in the main event tonight, don't we?
Yes, and Mexico against Puerto Rico. There's the greatest rivalry in boxing between countries, and that's produced some unbelievable fights and champions, of course, down through the years. And, we've got a big banger in Ruiz, who we mentioned is creating that buzz. But Javier Flores, let's not forget him. He's got a very good record. He is also a slugger in that ring. And he says he tries to follow in the footsteps of guys like Diego Corrales and Tito Trinidad, who he's known for a number of years there in Puerto Rico. So he's going to come out here tonight to give it his all. And let's not forget that a couple of months ago, a Puerto Rican fighter came here by the name of Edwin Rodriguez, and nobody really knew him, and he fought Sal Sanchez, who had been really moving up very, very fast, and beat Sal Sanchez that night. So just a little word of caution, don't write off the kid's chances.
And some of the Puerto Ricans are saying, Ruiz talks too much. We'll see what happens inside the ring. Let the ring, Rich Murata, our main event, moments away from you. For you were wondering, earlier tonight, wins for George Acosta, El Yuyu. Alex Avila had a first-round stoppage. Ivan Zarate went the distance in his pro debut, got the victory. And Golden Garcia and Hector Garcia had a draw in our opening bout of the night. The main event coming up your way. And thanks for everybody who's checking in. So right now, share on Facebook, let them know that the main event is coming your way. As Angel Ruiz, 16-0, 12 KOs. And one thing about Ruiz, he's also, Rich, coming off a hand injury.
Right, and he said he actually had to take a couple months where he just let his hand rest. you know, and then he started really getting into it. And he was doing some of his other training, but just letting his hand rest. But it feels good, and he's ready to punch here tonight. As we mentioned earlier, if you weren't with us earlier in the broadcast, he says, I work hard. I work hard every day. I work hard in the ring. This is not a lazy job. I am not lazy. I am like a monster.
and he'll be quick to come out. Should be a good fight in our main event, Ángel Ruiz and Javier Flores. So if you're watching this for the first time, si estás mirando por la primera vez, todos los comentarios que nos dejan en Facebook, los leemos. Everything that you guys leave on Facebook, we read it, we take advantage of it, we interact with you guys. So we will. What you got, man?
There's a conga line. People are having a good time.
Oh, there's people getting loaded over here? All right, cool.
Got a conga line.
You got a conga line like it's a wedding. It doesn't matter. So thanks to everybody. Make sure you guys check in. Let us know what's going on as they want us to keep on filling. So November 22nd, that'll be the next time the Thompson Boxing is on the air. As Ruben Torres let us know that will be coming up. Now, it's a club show. So if you're wondering, like, hey, where are you guys at? We're at a hotel, the Doubletree in Ontario. It's Thompson Boxing's 19th year. And club shows, Rich, this is where the kids learn, they grow, and they want to move on. And we've seen some big names grow from this building.
Yeah, they come right out. They come right out of it. I mean, a great champion like Timothy Bradley grew out of this Thompson Boxing, and they get a chance to show their wares, and they get a chance to do it toward a sympathetic audience. I describe the audiences at the Thompson Boxing, the club shows here, as kind of like what we experience in Reno and at UNLV down in Las Vegas, of the college boxing crowds that they have, because there's a lot of friends, there's a lot of families. It's pretty good natured. Everybody has their supporters. They all sell their tickets. It's a great atmosphere. It's a fun atmosphere. We haven't had any fighters jump out of the ring and punch it out with the fans here tonight.
No, there'll be nobody jumping. The only people that jump in are the people jumping out of line at the bar, and the bar is wide open right behind us. And look, she's over there covering her face. Like, I don't want to be on right now. I saw you, Munchie, that comment. But you mentioned Timothy Bradley. Mauricio Herrera has come out of here. Chris Arreola has fought here before. Josecito Lopez started here. At one point, somebody has to start early. Floyd Mayweather's first pro fight was at 3 in the afternoon.
Exactly.
You got to crawl before you can run.
And what's really cool now too is with these streams, these live streams. It started in some cases with just people doing the preliminary cards, but now cards that aren't necessarily on regular television that are streamed live like this, you can see the development of these young fighters as they come up and they adopt their fan. They get fan followings from this, and we've seen it with a lot of fighters just this year that are fighting in these Thompson Boxing events.
And let's see, right here. Vladimir Baez watching in Tokyo, Japan. So for those of you wondering why we're just talking, I'm trying to figure it out too. They told me to keep on talking. We're going.
There's something going on with the red corner in the back.
Oh, there's something going on with the red corner in the back. Oh. So there's something going on in the red corner as the commission is trying to figure it out. The trainers are trying to figure it out. So we're going to keep on going. So that's what's going on. So
well, we didn't finish our Canelo predictions.
Yeah. So okay. Canelo Kovalev, what do you think, Rich?
I believe that Canelo's going to be able to successfully climb that mountain against a really tough light heavyweight. I think that the decline of Kovalev is significant enough that Canelo's going to be able to make this step up in terms of weight and height. He's got a big guy in front of him. A lot of guys have been able to make the climb and fight bigger fighters. It's not always a detriment if you can learn to make it work for yourself. I think Canelo's going to have to figure out how to get past that jab, and once he does, that body attack's going to take hold.
Well, we got past whatever the delay was. That's what you call professional film. Right now, Sonny Franco's got a professional jacket.
Here we go, fight fans. Let's get the action going on. Please welcome onto the red corner from Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, here is Javier El Chino Flores.
Saludos a todos los que están mirando en Puerto Rico, como Ángel Camacho. Javier El Chino Flores with a record of 14-2, 12 KOs. Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. Coming into Luis Santiago, Yo Soy. And you know, let's see if we can get the guy behind him. I want to make sure I mention this right here. We see the shirt. So if you have the camera guy, if you can get it, the guy with the neon shirt, you'll see it right there, Pritchard Colon. He was a fighter, a young Puerto Rican fighter who was hit rabbit punched on he was fighting for a PBC show and went into a coma after that. He had a seizure immediately afterwards.
Ricardo Colon, I think.
No, it's Pritchard Colon. A young Puerto Rican fighter. I just see the shirt right now, Dig It Time. And he was fighting for Golden Boy, but then he went when Golden Boy split with PBC. He went to PBC. Young kid, I got to know him a little bit. He has recovered, but he's still not 100%. He is, his family has to take care of him in a wheelchair, but he's alive. But I just want to make sure to send a shout out to the family of Pritchard Colon. Saludos a todos, la familia de Pritchard. Buen muchacho.
As he makes his way to the ring from Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico, here is Angel Relámpago Ruiz.
Relámpago. Hey, for you guys who speak Spanish, translate Relámpago. I bet you I get a bunch of different answers. I know what it means. I just want to hear you guys. Oh, Rich, you know this song.
Oh, I've heard this many times. Yes. I've heard many fighters walk to the ring at this. You know, the greatest ring walks to me, I think, as far as I'm concerned in my life, were Chavez's ring walks.
I can't hit the match.
At the big fights. The one at the Alamo Dome when he fought Pernell Whitaker that night, it must have taken him 20 minutes to get into the...
As you should. Vicente Fernandez, México lindo y querido. There's nothing, I kid you not, nothing like a Vegas fight when the Mexican anthem is playing or when a Vicente Fernandez song is playing and the entire building is just singing it. Like, even I become super patriotic there.
Yeah, you know, even now I expect when they finished with the Mexican anthems for them to yell Viva Chavez.
Ladies and gentlemen, Thompson Boxing Promotions is proud to present the feature attraction, as this is the main event of the evening. Now, sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Executive Officer Andy Foster, Chairman John Caravelli, Timekeeper Lorona Ganaway, ringside physicians Dr. Matthew Potts and Dr. Jeff Roberts. Your three judges scoring the bout should it go the distance are Carla Cais, Fernando Villarreal, and Max DeLuca. And the man in charge of the action at the bell, your referee, Jerry Cantu. 8 rounds of action in the welterweight division. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario, California, and live on ThompsonBoxing.com around the world, where battles are fought and champions are made. Ladies and gentlemen, let the battles begin. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, presentamos el combate en la esquina roja. Vistieron los colores negro con rojo. He stepped the ring tonight wearing the black and red trunks. Su peso oficial, 146.6 libras. He stepped in the ring, ladies and gentlemen, when he weighed in officially at 146.6 pounds. His professional record, 14 wins against 2 defeats, 12 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Su récord profesional, 14 victorias, 2 perdidas, 12 victorias por la vía del knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, introducing Javier El Chino Flores. Y presentamos su combate en la esquina azul. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. He steps to the ring tonight wearing the black trunks with red. When he stepped onto the scale, he weighed officially at 145.7 pounds. Su peso oficial, 145.7 libras. His official record, ladies and gentlemen, as a professional, he is undefeated. 16 wins with 0 losses. 12 of his victories coming to you by way of KO. Su récord profesional invicto. 16 victorias sin pérdida. 12 victorias por la vía del knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, de Culiacán, Sinaloa, Mexico, introducing Ángel Relámpago Ruiz. Once again, your referee in charge, Jerry Cantu, to give the final instructions.
Gentlemen, you were given your instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean, hard fight, and you will obey my commands at all times. Tu pantalones un poco abajo. Aquí estás desligado. Touch him up, good looking movie.
Jerry Cantu, third man in the ring. Tell the tape, Rich Murata.
All right, as you can see, the big difference between these two fighters is twofold. First of all, in age, where Ruiz just getting started at 22, and Flores, who turned pro in 2009, is 33, and a big reach advantage as well for Ángel Ruiz. So Flores is going to have some physical disadvantages to overcome in this bout. Can he do what Edwin Rodriguez did just 2 months ago? Come here to Southern California and beat the Thompson boxing fighter who was heavily favored, Sal Sanchez, that night.
Both of them in the southpaw stance. Ruiz with the white gloves. Beto Duran, Rich Murata, and you as you're watching our main event on Thompson Boxing Promotions in their 19th year of business, the Doubletree Hotel in Ontario. Ruiz from Mexico, Culiacan, Tijuana, now lives in Southern California, trains at Maywood Boxing.
And he says he really credits his success to the sparring he's getting now. He's very happy with the sparring that he's getting. He says, I get to spar with champions. I get to spar with fighters from other countries. He goes, I love my country. I love Mexico. But for sparring and training, it's here.
Home is LA. Javier Flores, El Chino, 33-year-old, Atlantic Boxing in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. Father of 3. Tito, of course, is his favorite. We said Diego Corrales, the late Chico, one of his favorite boxers. That's the name right there. Ruiz has an explosive style, doesn't he, Rich?
Yes, he does. In his last fight, of course, he's coming off a first-round knockout of Zamudio. And I think he's getting, even more confident in that power that he has, and it's making him feel invincible in there.
16-0, 12 KOs. I think I've done 4 of his fights. He's fought on the Golden Boy show before. I've also seen him, but I've never seen him get hit. So I've never seen that jaw get tested. But he gets in there and he makes easy work. Makes it look like easy work.
Well, if Flores can hit him, and right now Flores is mostly concerned with covering up. Flores does have a big punch himself.
Flores has 12 KOs to go with his 14-2 record. Mouthpiece is out.
Ruiz has very good size for this division.
Monchu, too. Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you around social media in a while. Y saludos a toda la gente que está mirando en Puerto Rico. The Aguadilla, which is on the western part of the island. Relámpago, nickname Lightning.
He just looks bigger and stronger in there than Flores does, even though Flores carries a pound more in weight.
He's a boxing fan. If you follow Ruiz's Instagram, he is watching every single fight because he is posting about every single fight. All he posts is him at the gym working, him running, and fights that he's watching.
Flores, meantime, is in a completely defensive posture here in the first round. He's going to have to do something to get Ruiz respect. And that's a start right there.
Loading up on punches. This was scheduled for 8 in our main event. Ángel Ruiz, undefeated. Javier Flores, Puerto Rican. Samuel Campos, why do you say that? Why do you say he's scared? What do you see? Mel DeMarcus, you already fought. Ya ganó. You know, this is, if you're watching for the first time, this is your broadcast. We'll interact with you. Whatever comments you guys have, feel free to leave them. We'll check it out.
I know people who watch these telecasts, I've been on enough of them now, to know that when they see it the first time, they're kind of in stunned disbelief as to what's going on.
Look, like I always say, if you're watching this fight, you are either related, you are a degenerate, which we really like, and if it's Friday night and you're at home watching it, you're probably loaded, which we're okay with, because this is for the hardcore fans. We know it, and I say that as compliments, because most of the people watching are my friends. So, like, you know, you got to know who you are, but we appreciate you watching it. So why are we going to ignore the crowd? Because you're the reason we have the broadcast, because of the fans. Y saludos de Vega Baja, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, if they're home on Friday nights and watching, they're probably lonely. We're lonely too.
Yeah.
And so we can talk.
Yeah. Who do you think Twitter is for? For people who don't want to leave the house. The Ace of SoCal, degenerate. He's probably watching us from a casino right now.
I've noticed one thing about Ruiz here is a lot tonight. He's using his jab. It's not really a weapon, but he's using it as a measuring stick, and he kind of sticks it out there. Sometimes he holds it out there, really to get the measure, to make it a measuring stick for his follow-up left crosses.
And I say this is a compliment. Degenerate is a compliment, because you're a hardcore fight fan. Like, you're looking for a stream on a Friday night at 11 o'clock or midnight, or wherever you're watching it. You're looking for entertainment, so we want to entertain you. Or Rich and I could just sit here, left, right, uppercut, whoa. But hey, let's get with you guys, because fans like you are the backbone of this sport. And Monchu, I can't wait for the day for me to get too big to talk to you. I'll talk to everybody else. I'll cut you off, bro. I can't wait. Make sure you guys follow.
I don't even want to look down and see what that one was.
No, he said one day I'm going to get too big to talk to the little people. I'm like, nah. As long as the bank account gets big, that's all that matters. Make sure you guys visit the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, nvbhof.org.
No, .com.
.com. Oh, I'm sorry. Even better. Rich Murata is the president. It opened 4 months ago. It's a great. I can't believe there wasn't a venue that you guys had. It's awesome.
It is pretty amazing.
Oh, and Ruiz hits the deck. The Puerto Rican dropped him with a big punch for the first time in his career, and it is over. Ruiz has been stopped and knocked out.
A shocking upset. We told you this kid could punch, and he proved it here tonight. And Ruiz, you said you'd never seen him get hit. Let me tell you, he got hit.
Oh my goodness. Flores was looking for it, but the thing is, none of that ever came. We never saw a big punch coming from him, and Ruiz gets knocked out, stunned. Jerry Cantu, the referee, stopped it immediately. He counted once and said no, and Ruiz is still dazed on the stool. El Chino, El Boricua, who has nobody in the crowd with him, has won the crowd. Wepa!
And somewhere up there, Diego Corrales is smiling down at his biggest fan, Javier Flores.
And now I'll tell you this, Rich. I was talking to California. When I went in the back to talk to Flores, I was having a conversation like I always do with these guys. I'm like, oh, you know what to do? He was very calm. He said, I'm a very strong Christian. I know I'm here to do this fight. And I asked him, you have young kids, you want them to fight? He's like, no. This sport isn't for my kids. I want them to study. This is a very demanding sport. He goes, I'm here as a professional to fight. I didn't feel like he had that kind of fight in him. Because, there's some guys who show up, it's like they're here for the check. He wasn't one that's here for the check, but I didn't feel a burn in him. But wow, they did come in the third, and Ruiz got clocked for the first time in his career and goes down as the doctor is checking him out.
Well, he has just a quiet personality, Javier Flores, and a quiet demeanor. And Angel Ruiz, I think, is just finding out now that, you got knocked out. Yeah. They counted 10.
And let's look at the replay.
I'm sure he can't believe it.
Had his hands down the whole time.
And there you see it was the right hook might get a better view of it right here. It's going to be the right. There it is, the right hook out of the southpaw stance. It was a perfect punch, right on the button, a clean knockout. And I mean, this is a shocking upset.
Yes,
this is going to raise eyebrows in the Southern California boxing community, I'll tell you that.
Ruiz was very confident, borderline cocky, saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Until you get hit for the first time on the chin, you don't know what you got. A lot of power and respect to Javier Flores. El Chino with the upset. Let's go to Sonny Franco.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 2 minutes, 2 seconds of round number 2. Referee Jerry Cantu puts a stop to this contest, declaring your winner by way of a knockout from Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, Javier El Chino Flores.
El Chino regresa a Aguadilla, Puerto Rico with his 15th victory, 13th KO. The Puerto Rican goes into Ruiz's venue, knocks him out. As Doug Fisher would say, the one hitter quitter. Hey, that's why you get inside that ring and you step fighters up. And that's one thing that Thompson Boxing was doing today. And you said it earlier in the broadcast, Rich. You have young fighters. You need to find out what you have with them. You need to step them up in competition. It was a step up with El Chino. Was it dangerous? They didn't think so. But they want to see what they have. Ruiz looked good. But one moment of dropping that hand.
That's it. And he got clocked and he got knocked out. I mean, that was, you spell that one KO, believe me. And, you know, in the case of Flores, he was coming off of a loss, a decision loss, and I think maybe people felt that, you know, at the age of 33, probably didn't have his heart in it anymore, but he did. He did have his heart, and don't let that quiet demeanor of his fool you, because he got in there. We told you he could punch. He punched, and Ruiz found out.
Well, there was a couple people who left the comments on the Facebook saying, you know, Flores looked scared in there, like he didn't have that. Hey, there's a reason you get in the ring. Respect to both fighters. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a rematch between these two later on down the road.
We're going to have to see how Ruiz comes back from this. This is going to be a difficult one for him to climb back up now and regain his own confidence.
Gaby Cuevas, I did say that you're going to like Ruiz. I said que le iba a encantar a Ruiz, porque las peleas que admiro de Ruiz, he comes out and puts in a show. Hey, respect to the Puerto Rican Flores for coming out and putting on his own show. So for Rich Murata and everybody involved, and congratulations to Javier Flores. El Chino gets the victory tonight. This is why Thompson Boxing is in business. 19th year to put on the shows. Hey, you never know what you might see. Right. Golden Garcia, Hector Garcia draw. Victory for Ivan Zarate, Alex Avila, El Yuyu, George Acosta. And the big victory, the upset KO on Boricua, El Chino, Javier Flores, as he knocks out Angel Ruiz. For California, Pahar, and everybody involved, Pierre, Jeanette, Alex Campanovo, and our very own president, Mr. Ken Thompson, and my partner, Rich Murata, the president of Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. Thanks for watching. I'm Beto Duran. Thank you, and good night from Ontario. You've been watching Thompson Boxing Promotions.